it's your girl Kaya P. Horton. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. On my channel, I talk about all things content, lifestyle, and fashion. If you haven't already, please go ahead and like and subscribe so that you don't miss any of my amazing videos that I continue to drop each month. And I'm so excited about today's video. So today's video, I'm going to be talking about 5 tips to help women with negotiating their salaries. So let's pause, because I know somebody's probably like, who she thinks she is and why is she qualified to be talking about this topic? Well, I know many of you all know me on social media for the content strategy and lifestyle and fashion, but I also have, I'm going on 7 years of experience in human resources. I began in the benefits realm where I worked with benefits, leave of absence, those fun things, and then I navigated to talent acquisition. So I'm not just pulling these tips out of a hat or off of Google. This is based on my experiences in human resources and what I've learned and what I feel comfortable sharing with you all. But as a disclosure, I do want to let everyone know these tips may not apply to every single situation or company or every offer that you're navigating. These are simply tools and tips to help you as you see fit for whatever you're navigating, whether it's entering a new career or whatever space it is that you're navigating. So keep that in mind as you are listening to these tips. So I know everyone's like, why? Why is this a topic? How does this tie into my content? So let me tell you, if you haven't followed me already on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook, the theme for this month is self-love. And during this month, I'm talking about all of the reasons why we should love ourselves, why we should know our worth, how we are healing from our past, breaking walls down, breaking through strongholds so that we can show up as confident women who love ourselves unapologetically, so that we can walk in our worth and live in the full abundance that God wanted us to live in and be who He wanted us to be. And a part of that ties into our career. Because when you love yourself and you know your worth, that also means you know how much you should be getting paid. It means that you should be valued, appreciated, and paid and compensated accordingly at work. So that's why I chose this topic to talk about, because it ties into self-love and your worth for yourself. Because when we show up to these jobs every day and we're spending hours and hours at these places, not only should we have a healthy work environment, but we should be paid for our expertise, for our knowledge, for our education, and what we bring to the table. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. Number 1. Do your research. So what I mean by that, so before you start the interview process for any role or any job, you should really already know what you are wanting to get paid. Okay, so what does doing your research means? It means you need to look at the market. What is the market value for the role? There are a couple of factors that tie into doing the research for this. 1, you want to get into location. So just to be real, you got to think about location. So somewhere on the East Coast, New Jersey, New York, those kind of places are going to be getting paid a lot more money than those who are getting paid in Texas. Why? The cost of living is higher. So you got to think about location. You got to think about the field you're entering in terms of, salaries. Biggest difference I can get is education versus corporate America. Education typically has a set budget for the year, what they can offer. It's honestly a lot of times public information from my experience. They're going to honestly probably be able to tell you the ranges you are going to be offered for those jobs. Whereas corporate America, they don't necessarily have as low as a budget as education. So you're going to most likely get paid significantly higher in corporate America. So you want to keep those factors in mind when you're doing your markets research. You want to look at the market value for the role. You want to look at your experience, certifications, education, value, what you bring to the table. That also is going to determine what kind of salary you are going to come in as well. And you also want to, if you can, take it a step further and ask somebody who may feel comfortable, that you know who is already in that position or role, if they'd be willing to help you or determine what your salary is based on where they're at. Or if someone doesn't mind sharing their salary with you, at least you can use that as a baseline. But please understand that everyone is not comfortable. Most people are not comfortable sharing how much money they make. That is private information. So when you ask that question, or if you ask someone or you find someone who is willing to share that, that is not something you should share with everyone. It's just something that you should be thankful that you received, that you can use as a tool to navigate and select your in choosing your salary that you want to make. Number 2, know your worth and the salary that you want to make. So I gotta say this, and like I said, I want to say this in the most graceful way possible, but in the realest way possible, because if I can't keep it real with you, you can't trust me. When you go on the interview, that is not the time to be figuring out how much money you want to make. You should know your worth and your salary that you want to make before you even interview. What does that mean? That means when it comes time for them to ask you or present an offer to you and they say, how much do you want to make? I'm going to come in so you can see my face. Saying I don't know, unacceptable. Absolutely unacceptable. If you get all the way to the offer process and it's time to talk about the salary and the money you're going to be making and you say, I don't know, sis, that's unacceptable. We are too grown, you are too educated, you are too bomb, you are too valuable, and you are too worthy to get up in the chair and not know how much money you want to make. That is the time where you confidently and firmly and tell them, this is the salary I want to make based off the research and the market value, so that they know you did what you were supposed to do and you did your homework and you know your value. Why am I telling you this? Because if you say, I don't know, or don't say this either, don't say I'll give whatever you offer me, you are now allowing someone else to determine how much you are worth. You are allowing someone else to determine your value. We are better than that, sis. We do not let anybody tell us how much we are worth, because we know that. And when you know your worth and you communicate that to other people, they should treat you accordingly. They will treat you accordingly. But if you don't know your worth and you don't know how much money, you don't do your research, they could be coming in with a lower salary than what you are worth. And we don't want that, sis. Now, I'm hoping that most companies and jobs are ethical and that they'll present a job offer to you that makes sense based on your skills and your expertise and your knowledge. But honestly, everyone doesn't do that. And you don't want to be mad with an attitude because you accepted a job with a salary for less than what you deserve because you didn't come prepared. Also, we want the offer process to move quickly. So what that means is when you say, I don't know, that means they could throw any number up in the air. They can do anything. And they may come back to you and you mad with the salary. And all they can say is, well, you didn't tell us how much money you wanted to make. So sis, like I said, know your worth, meaning your salary. Another point I want to make on that is do not ask for a ridiculous amount. Now, sis, if you know you got 2 seconds of experience in whatever field it is, you know you're not an executive director role. You know you are not an executive. You know you're not a VP. If you had 2 seconds of experience, you know you're not going to be making $150K. You know you're not going to be making more money than a manager if you got 2 seconds of experience in the job you were applying for. So be real with yourself, because they know when you are asking for a ridiculous amount, and they know when you're trying to just shoot for the stars and you haven't even done the entry level work. Now, I'm not saying you're not going to be a big boss one day. I'm not saying you're not going to be an executive director one day. I'm saying be real, okay? Don't ask for, thousands and thousands of dollars more for a role that you know you really have to learn. You have to navigate. You have to be realistic with that number when determining your worth for that job. Now, when I say worth, I don't mean your overall worth as a person. Girl, I know you worth $1 million. I know you bomb. I know all of that. I'm talking about navigating salaries. Do not throw out a ridiculous number just to see what they will shoot back, because at that point they may think you're not taking the role seriously. Or you may, they may say, is she serious about this job? Does she want another job? So be realistic with the amount that you're requesting based on your experience, education, and value, and what you can bring to the table and contribute to the job and the company you're applying for. Number 4, don't be afraid to negotiate your salary. So I know negotiating salaries, or anytime it comes down to negotiating anything, I don't know about you ladies, but just think about buying a car and how they be trying to play us at the car dealership. Anytime we're negotiating any numbers, I think it's just, it's typically male dominated at the car dealership or other places, and they try to come for us and play us, okay? We got to stand firm and we have to negotiate. And I mean this so seriously on your salary. If for some reason you're presenting with an offer or something that is below what you want to make, counter the offer, negotiate. Tell them this is the amount of money you want to make. And if they ask you why, based on my skills, experience, education, what I bring to the table, what I've already proven, what I can do, this is my value. This is what I should be making. I know it's uncomfortable. I know we get a lot of thoughts in our head like, oh, if I counter, I might not get the job. Oh, if I counter, they may not be upset with me. They may not treat me differently. No. Again, men do this all the time. They negotiate their salaries all the time and they don't think twice about it. And half the time, we are coming in with more education and experience than they are. So negotiate your salary. I know it's uncomfortable. I know it can be challenging at times. I know sometimes it's, just a challenging space to be in. But if you know the lifestyle you want to live, what you want to provide your family, what you're worth, you have to be firm in those conversations and not be afraid to negotiate and counter those offers and to higher amounts when necessary. Now that when necessary is key. What I mean by that is if you are negotiating a salary and let's just say they exceed the amount that you are wanting to make and you are just being unreasonable, meaning, oh, if they can pay me this, I'm going to come in $60,000 higher, even though I don't have that. That's not the value. I don't have that kind of experience. And, understand this, sis. You are not about to be making more money than your manager. You're not about to be making more money than the executive director. You're not about to be making more money than the CEO. Now, I know, like I said earlier, I know you're worth $1 million and whatnot, but you got to be realistic in this. So if you're negotiating, make sure you are understanding the reasoning why you were negotiating. Is it the salary is too low? Are the hours long? And is there a lot of travel and you want to compensate for that? Think of all of the reasons why that factor into you negotiating that salary and what makes sense for you. Another little side note I want to, add in is when you're deciding, let's just say you have 2 offers on the table, but they may be similar, you need to also weigh the benefit packages. One may offer a 401k, one doesn't. One may offer amazing benefits with low premiums. The other one may have, okay benefits and high premiums, and you're paying a lot of money. These are all of the factors that you should be asking when making these decisions on the offers that companies are presenting to you. What are the best offers? Is there travel involved? Am I going to have to, drive an hour? What is my commute time like? Is there parking I'm going to have to pay for? Is there tolls? Factor all of these things in when making a decision when you go to negotiate that offer and determine if you want to accept the offers that they are presenting you with. Number 5, this is the last tip. It's okay to walk away from jobs or offers that will not pay you what you are worth. I know this is big because in the workforce we are now, it is hard to find, good jobs. I completely understand that. But let's just say you are currently working a job and you are wanting to navigate and explore and to go into a new job, and they offer you something that is ridiculous. It is low, or they will not pay you what you are worth, or let's just say it's less than what you are making now. You do not have to accept these offers from these companies if it is less than what you're worth. It's okay. To pick your pretty head up, pretty self up, put your head up, grab your cute little bag. You know the little Viola Davis meme when she grabs her bag and she like, I'm up out of here. It's okay to do that. Because when you are telling people, I'm not accepting the bare minimum. I am not accepting less than what I'm worth. I'm not working all these hours, putting in all this work and giving you all of my knowledge, expertise, skills, and experience for you to come in and pay me less than what I'm worth and have me out here looking crazy, trying to figure out how I'm going to make ends meet, all because I wanted this job. We're not doing that, sis. We are not. We are not. We know our worth. We know our value. We know what we bring to the table. And we are okay with getting up from tables that will not pay us what we are worth. Why? Because I'm a woman of faith. And what that means is, unless, like I said, I'm making a career change and God told me to uproot where I'm at and start over, and I may have to take a pay cut because I'm walking in His will, that's something different, because that's a faith walk. But if I am in a position where I'm currently at, wanting to elevate in a career, wanting to move somewhere else, I know my worth, I know what I bring to the table. This is not a new career field, and I know you are paying me less than what I'm supposed to be paid. I'm all right staying where I'm at, and I'm not moving, and I'm not accepting, and I will get up from this interview and walk away until you decide that you want to pay me. And if you want to pay me that salary, that's great. But by then, God may have brought somebody else that understands my worth, my value, and what you bring to the table. Somebody, some company, somewhere, some job, some corporation, some company, wherever it is that you want to work, somebody will pay you your worth. Somebody will. So you do not have to accept the bare minimum for a job. If you know your worth, what you were bringing to the table, you don't have to succumb to it. So I can't stress that enough, that when you are negotiating salaries and when you are going through the process of trying to navigate, going into a new job, applying for a new role, factor in all of these things so that you are fully equipped to go into these rooms confidently, knowing your worth and not willing to back down on what it is that you want and what you want to bring to the table, sis. So again, the theme for this month is self-love. And I want all of us to love ourselves, spiritually, mentally, physically, as well as our careers and what we are doing, because the places that we show up to work in our 9-to-5 jobs, we spend hours and hours and hours there. So I want you to wake up in the morning, love what you're doing, feel happy and confident that you are going somewhere that values you, knows your worth, and that they pay you accordingly. So slide in my comments and let me know if these tips were helpful. Let me know if you want to know any more about, my HR expertise and what I bring to the table and knowledge about that, any other areas in HR. And again, if you haven't already, like and subscribe so I can keep dropping videos. Go ahead and follow me at Kaya P. Horton on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. So excited to connect with you guys. I'm going to keep these videos coming. Hope you enjoy this video, and I will see you all next time.